Hi, it's Chris, and this is my review of tonight's reading for Reading a Bible in a Year. June 27th, today is Friday, not that that has any bearing on it, but today we read Hosea, some books of Hosea. Man, it was powerful. I was hearing things through this. We started in Hosea 9, was it? Yep, Hosea 9, and we went through 10, and what really just spoke out to me through this, and I can't put my finger on specific verses, I don't think I even need to, but what I could see was the feeling that the Lord had toward us when we sin. I think this is a good representation of that when we sin, He gives us a little bit of the understanding by comparing that to an unfaithful spouse. And that's us when we sin, when we do things, we take things for granted. And He revealed, at least to me through this, how we can very easily take for granted what He's given us, that we completely rely on Him for everything. I'm pretty sure that I don't completely rely on Him for everything the way that I should. I think of the Israelites. He speaks of the Israelites, and that usually makes us mad to think that the Israelites were wandering in the desert for so long, and they were given manna every day, and they had a pillar of cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night, this manifestation of God that was visual and real, and they trembled and shook with fear, and yet they quickly forgot and complained against Him. They forgot that they were led out of Egypt by Him. And we get angry about that. We get angry at them, but yet that's us. And I got to thinking, how many times do we put our faith in things that aren't God? Like that. What I saw was the people of Israel putting their faith in armies and putting their faith in handmade things, golden calves and silver idols, and yet what good is that? What can they do for us? But then I see where we often put our faith in the grocery stores and the technology that we've created, we've been allowed to create, that we put our faith in thinking that no matter what, we'll just go to the grocery store and get it. There's going to be enough food there. We know what we're doing. We're society. We're good. We can. It doesn't matter if there's a drought or not. You know what? If the Lord says that we will not eat, we will go hungry, we're going to go hungry. There's just no end to that. There's no amount of storerooms that can do that. But yet we say, well, we've worked for that. We have used our intellect. We've used our sweat of our brow, our labor to build something. Not without the Lord's help. None of this could exist without the Lord. None of it. God creates that. He created life. He created sustenance. He allows things to grow. If He wanted to, we would have no food. Our food sources would dry up. It would be demolished and eliminated, exterminated, and we would go hungry. That's the bottom line. And we trust in what we've made way too much. And that's what brought the wrath of God on the Israelites. In the Hosea, they trusted in kings. They wouldn't trust in God. They turned to these idols. They trusted in themselves. They cheated each other to gain wealth and to gain position and to gain sustenance. That's what they did, and that's who they were. And that's who we are. Check yourself. Look inside. Is that what's happening to you? I don't know. The love of God, the wrath of God has been poured out on Jesus. And that's what we also all need to understand, is that we deserve so much more wrath poured out on us than we ever are going to get, because Jesus took that wrath for us. For any of us that accept that, He did that. God took the wrath that He was going to pour out on us, and He poured it out on Jesus. Himself. Do we realize that? Do we put faith in that? Do we put our trust in that? Do we realize that the suffering that He went through was due us? The suffering that He speaks about in here, the suffering that Hosea prophesies about women being ripped open, about famines going to happen, about just the terrible pressures and the things that are going to have the bloodshed, that wrath that is God's, that needs to be poured out on sin, against sin, has been poured out on Jesus for those who believe. And those who don't accept that, they'll get the wrath still. Don't worry, there's plenty of wrath to go around. If you don't want God to take it for you, you don't put your trust in that, there's plenty of wrath left. Read about the wrath of God. It's not without damage. So that's my review of Hosea 9 through 14 tonight. I think tomorrow we get into Isaiah. But man, trust in God. Know that his wrath is due us, and yet he provides everything for us. He is our life. He is our everything. Humble yourselves and know that that's the God that created all things and that made all things. That's the God that we can serve if we so choose. We need to choose that, and we need to choose that over our own selves and our own strength. That's all I got.